In 1956, Eva Marie Saint was named one of the top 10 box office draws in America. By 1961, her name had vanished from every major studio's roster. What caused this meteoric fall from grace? The answer lies in a series of events so disturbing they've been kept under wraps for decades. Until now. Early life struggles. She entered the world on July 4, 1924, in Newark, New Jersey. Born into the tumultuous era of the Great Depression, Eva Marie Saint's early years were marked by financial hardship. Her father, John Saint, lost his job as a bank auditor when she was just 5 years old. The family of 5, including Eva's older sister Adelaide and younger brother Jack, struggled to make ends meet. In 1929, the Saints moved to Delmar, New York, where John found work as a salesman for a lawn mower company. Despite the change, money remained tight. Eva often wore hand-me-down clothes, and the family relied on homegrown vegetables to supplement their meals. Health issues plagued young Eva. At age 7, she developed a severe case of measles that left her bedridden for weeks. The illness affected her eyesight, requiring thick glasses that made her self-conscious throughout her school years. At Bethlehem Central High School, she struggled academically due to undiagnosed dyslexia. Her grades were mediocre, and she found solace in extracurricular activities. She joined the school's drama club in her sophomore year, but ironically, her shyness prevented her from auditioning for speaking roles. Instead, she worked backstage, managing props and costumes. The summer of 1941 brought another blow. Eva's father lost his job again, forcing her to take up part-time work at a local diner to help support the family. The long hours affected her studies, but instilled a strong work ethic that would serve her well in the future. Despite these challenges, Eva graduated from high school in 1942. Her parents, unable to afford college tuition, encouraged her to find steady work. However, a twist of fate was about to change the course of her life. The unexpected path to fame. In the fall of 1943, Eva Marie Saint enrolled at Bowling Green State University in Ohio. Her initial plan was to become a teacher, a practical choice given the limited career options for women at the time. However, a scheduling error accidentally placed her in an acting class instead of the education course she had intended to take. Professor Eldon T. Smith, who taught the acting class, noticed her natural talent despite her crippling stage fright. He encouraged her to audition for the university's production of Personal Appearance. Eva later told the New York Times, "I was terrified. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold the script." Despite her nerves, Eva landed a small role in the play. Her first performance was nearly disastrous. She froze on stage, forgetting her lines. A fellow actor had to improvise to cover for her. This incident, rather than deterring her, sparked a determination to overcome her fear. Over the next 4 years at Bowling Green, Eva threw herself into theater. She appeared in 15 productions, gradually building her confidence and honing her craft. In her senior year, she won the title role in Joan of Lorraine, a performance that caught the attention of a visiting talent scout from NBC. Upon graduation in 1947, she moved to New York City with dreams of breaking into television. The reality was harsh. She faced rejection after rejection. Major studios like MGM and Paramount turned her down, citing her plain looks and lack of star quality. Undeterred, Eva took odd jobs to support herself while attending auditions. She worked as a model for department stores and posed for toothpaste ads. In a 1955 interview with Life magazine, she admitted, "I ate a lot of peanut butter sandwiches those first 2 years in New York." Her persistence paid off in late 1948 when she landed a small role in a radio soap opera. This led to more radio work and eventually caught the attention of a CBS television producer. In early 1949, Eva made her television debut in a live broadcast of Campus Hoopla, a comedy show aimed at college students. Breaking into television, her entry into television coincided with the medium's rapid growth. The number of TV sets in American homes skyrocketed from 940,000 in 1949 to over 20 million by 1953. This boom created opportunities for new talent, but also intense competition. Eva's early television career was dominated by live broadcasts, a high-pressure environment where mistakes could not be edited out. She appeared in numerous anthology series, including Actors Studio and Kraft Television Theater. The schedule was grueling, often requiring 14-hour days of rehearsal followed by live evening performances. In 1950, Eva experienced a near-career-ending incident during a live broadcast of One Man's Family. In the middle of an emotional scene, a stagehand accidentally knocked over a heavy light stand. The crash was audible to viewers, and Eva, startled, completely froze on camera. For several agonizing seconds, she stood silent, unable to remember her lines. Her co-star, Burt Littell, saved the scene by improvising dialogue until she regained her composure. During this period, Eva was secretly dating Jeffrey Hayden, a young director she had met at a party in 1949. The relationship was kept under wraps due to concerns it might affect her career. They often met in out-of-the-way diners to avoid being seen together by industry insiders. Her breakthrough came in 1953 when she was cast in the television adaptation of Horton Foote's play The Trip to Bountiful. Her portrayal of the young wife Thelma, opposite Lillian Gish, earned critical acclaim. The New York Times praised her subtle and moving performance, marking her transition from bit player to sought-after actress. The Hitchcock Gamble. In early 1954, Eva Marie Saint made a decision that would define her career. She agreed to star in Alfred Hitchcock's upcoming thriller, North by Northwest. At the time, she was 7 months pregnant and had never appeared in a feature film. Many in her circle advised against taking such a risky role, especially under a notoriously demanding director like Hitchcock. The filming process was fraught with challenges. Eva's pregnancy meant that costume designer Edith Head had to create outfits that could be easily altered. Shooting was often rescheduled to accommodate her condition, causing tension with co-star Cary Grant. Grant, initially skeptical of working with a television actress, was reportedly difficult on set. In a rare moment of candor, Eva told a journalist in 1980, "Cary was professional but cold. He barely spoke to me off camera for the first 2 weeks of shooting." The famous Mount Rushmore scene presented particular dangers. Despite being visibly pregnant, she insisted on doing her own stunts. During one take, she slipped on the replica mountainside and nearly fell. Quick action by a nearby crew member prevented a potential tragedy. Hitchcock, known for his cool demeanor, was visibly shaken by the incident. Despite these challenges, Hitchcock was pleased with Eva's performance. He praised her ability to convey both vulnerability and hidden strength, key elements of her character's duplicitous nature. The director was so impressed that he broke his own rule of minimal actor direction to personally coach her through some of the more nuanced scenes. As filming wrapped in late 1954, Eva gave birth to her son, Daryl. She had to balance new motherhood with the demands of post-production work, often bringing her infant to sound stages for re-recordings. Oscar night shock. On March 30, 1955, Eva Marie Saint attended the 27th Academy Awards ceremony at the RKO Pantages Theater in Hollywood. She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for her role in On the Waterfront, her film debut. At 30 years old, she was the youngest nominee in her category that year. The odds seemed stacked against her. She was competing against established stars like Jan Sterling and Claire Trevor. Many industry insiders predicted that Katie Jurado, nominated for Broken Lance, would take home the Oscar. When Grace Kelly announced Eva as the winner, the audience's reaction was a mix of surprise and applause. Eva, visibly shocked, made her way to the stage. As she reached for her Oscar, she nearly tripped on her long gown. Presenter Marlon Brando, her co-star from On the Waterfront, steadied her, whispering, "Take it easy, kid." Eva's acceptance speech started conventionally enough, thanking the Academy and her co-stars. However, what she said next sparked controversy. She stated, "This award is as much for the longshoremen of New York as it is for me. Their struggle is real, and Hollywood needs to tell more stories like theirs." The reference to labor issues, particularly sensitive in the context of the ongoing investigations by the House Un-American Activities Committee, caused an immediate stir. Several attendees, including notable studio executives, were seen leaving their seats. In the aftermath, Eva faced professional repercussions. A planned starring role in a major studio production was abruptly canceled. Several talk shows rescinded their invitations for appearances. She remained largely silent about the incident in its immediate aftermath. It wasn't until a 1970 interview that she addressed it directly, stating, "I spoke from my heart that night. I was naive about the consequences, but I don't regret standing up for what I believed in." The Hollywood blacklist scare. The aftermath of Eva Marie Saint's controversial Oscar speech lingered into 1956. Her name appeared in Red Channels, a pamphlet listing alleged communist sympathizers in the entertainment industry. This publication, though unofficial, carried significant weight in Hollywood during the height of the Red Scare. On June 12, 1956, Eva received a subpoena to appear before the House Un-American Activities Committee, HUAC. The summons came as a shock. She had never been involved in any political organizations. Her husband, Jeffrey Hayden, later recalled in a 2005 interview, "We were blindsided. Eva's only crime was speaking up for workers' rights." Her testimony before HUAC on July 31, 1956, lasted 4 hours. She denied any communist affiliations and refused to name others, stating, "I won't participate in ruining careers based on rumors and fear." This stance, while principled, had immediate consequences. Several studios canceled Eva's contracts. Alfred Hitchcock, who had been considering her for his upcoming film Vertigo, was pressured to look elsewhere. The role eventually went to Kim Novak. During this period, she found work scarce. She appeared in only 2 films between 1957 and 1959, A Hatful of Rain and Raintree County. Both roles were significantly smaller than her previous parts. The financial strain took its toll. The Saint Hayden family had to downsize, moving from their Hollywood Hills home to a modest apartment in West Hollywood. Eva took to teaching acting classes to supplement their income. By 1960, the fervor of the Red Scare began to wane. Eva's name was quietly removed from unofficial blacklists. However, the damage to her career had been done. The promising trajectory following her Oscar win had been irreversibly altered. The Forgotten Years. In 1961, Eva made a brief return to television, appearing in an episode of The DuPont Show of the Month. The performance received little attention, a stark contrast to her earlier TV successes. Rumors began circulating about her mental health. Her prolonged absences from public events fueled speculation. A 1962 article in Photoplay magazine suggested she was battling inner demons, a claim Eva vehemently denied years later. The truth was less sensational but equally challenging. Eva was grappling with the care of her ailing mother, who had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 1960. This family obligation, combined with the lingering effects of the blacklist, kept her away from the limelight. In 1963, she attempted a comeback with the film All Fall Down. Despite positive reviews for her performance, the movie failed to reignite her career. Variety's review noted, "Saint brings depth to an underwritten role, reminding viewers of her untapped potential." The following year brought another setback. Eva was initially cast in The Americanization of Emily, but was replaced by Julie Andrews just before filming began. The official reason given was scheduling conflicts, but industry insiders suggested it was due to lingering concerns about her marketability. 1965 saw Eva taking on her most challenging role yet in a production far from Hollywood. She joined a touring company performing The Miracle Worker in small theaters across the Midwest. The grueling schedule and modest pay were a far cry from her Oscar-winning days. Behind-the-scenes battle. The latter half of the 1960s saw Eva Marie Saint engaged in a less visible but equally intense struggle, a legal battle that would have far-reaching implications for her career and finances. In 1966, Eva discovered discrepancies in her financial records. A thorough audit revealed that her former management company, Baum Newborn Associates, had been mishandling her funds for years. The agency had been skimming a higher percentage of her earnings than contractually agreed upon and making unauthorized investments in her name. She filed a lawsuit against Baum-Newborn in Los Angeles Superior Court on March 15, 1967. The legal proceedings dragged on for nearly 2 years, during which time Eva's assets were frozen. This financial strain forced her to take on voiceover work for commercials, often uncredited, to make ends meet. The case took an unexpected turn when Marlon Brando, Eva's co-star from On the Waterfront, came forward with similar allegations against the agency. Brando's testimony in 1968 lent credibility to her claims and brought media attention back to the once-forgotten actress. As the legal battle intensified, Eva faced personal attacks from industry insiders loyal to Baum-Newborn. Rumors circulated about her being difficult to work with and past her prime. These whisper campaigns further complicated her attempts to rebuild her acting career. In a surprising twist, Eva found an unlikely ally in Elia Kazan, the director who had given her her breakthrough role in On the Waterfront. Despite their past disagreements over Kazan's testimony before HUAC, he publicly defended Eva's professional reputation. In a statement to Variety in 1969, Kazan said, "Eva Marie Saint is one of the most dedicated and talented actors I've had the privilege to direct. Any suggestion otherwise is pure fabrication." The lawsuit concluded in Eva's favor on November 22, 1969. The court ordered Baum-Newborn to pay $1.2 million in damages and restitution. While this verdict vindicated her, the protracted legal battle had taken its toll. She had been absent from the screen for nearly 4 years, an eternity in Hollywood terms. The unconventional comeback. Eva Marie Saint's return to acting in the 1970s was marked by unconventional choices that surprised both audiences and critics. Her first significant role of the decade came in an unexpected form, a supporting part in the 1970 Italian film The Grasshopper, directed by Bernardo Bertolucci. The film, a political drama set against the backdrop of Italy's years of lead, was a far cry from the Hollywood productions Eva had been known for. Her performance as an American expatriate caught in political turmoil received praise in Europe but went largely unnoticed in the United States. Her decision to work in European cinema was partly born of necessity. Hollywood remained hesitant to cast her in major roles. In a 1972 interview with Film Comment, Eva reflected, "I had to go where the interesting work was, even if it meant leaving my comfort zone." Her next project proved even more controversial. In 1973, she starred in The Day of the Jackal, a political thriller based on the Frederick Forsyth novel. Her portrayal of a ruthless assassin shocked audiences accustomed to her more wholesome image. The New York Times review noted, "Saint's chilling performance forces viewers to reevaluate their perceptions of her capabilities as an actress." The role in The Day of the Jackal opened new doors for Eva, but also brought criticism. Some conservative groups in the U.S. accused her of promoting violence. She addressed these concerns in a press conference, stating, "An actor's job is to portray the full spectrum of human experience, not just the palatable parts." The late 1970s saw her taking on more diverse roles in television. She appeared in the miniseries How the West Was Won, 1977, and earned an Emmy nomination for her performance in Taxi, 1978. These projects, while not blockbusters, steadily rebuilt her credibility in the industry. Late career revelations. The 1980s ushered in a new phase in Eva Marie Saint's career, marked by a willingness to confront her past and reshape her public image. This period saw her taking on roles that often mirrored her own experiences in Hollywood. In 1981, Eva starred in the television movie When the Circus Came to Town, playing a former performer confronting her past. The role earned her a Golden Globe nomination and critical acclaim. The Los Angeles Times praised her performance, noting, "Saint brings a lifetime of experience to a role that feels autobiographical in its emotional depth." A turning point came in 1986 when she gave a candid interview to People magazine. For the first time, she spoke openly about the trauma of the Hollywood blacklist era. She revealed, "Those years nearly broke me. I lost roles, friends, and almost my sense of self, but they also taught me resilience." This newfound openness led to more nuanced roles. In 1988, Eva appeared in Moonlighting, playing a former actress whose career was derailed by scandal. The performance was widely seen as a commentary on her own experiences, earning her an Emmy nomination. The 1990s saw Eva taking on fewer but more selective roles. She appeared in Superman Returns, 2006, a nod to her earlier work in the franchise. At 82, she demonstrated that age had not diminished her screen presence. In 2000, she began actively advocating for better treatment of aging actresses in Hollywood. She spoke at industry events and mentored younger actors, sharing her experiences and insights. In a 2005 speech at the Screen Actors Guild, she challenged the industry, saying, "Hollywood's obsession with youth does a disservice to both actors and audiences. There's a wealth of stories to be told about women of all ages." Eva's later career also included confronting industry figures about past mistreatment. In 2010, she publicly addressed the director who had replaced her in The Americanization of Emily back in 1964. At a film retrospective, she stated, "It's time we talked about the real reasons behind some of these scheduling conflicts of the past." As she entered her 90s, Eva continued to make occasional film and television appearances. Her role in the 2019 independent film Sunset Stories earned her critical praise, with IndieWire calling it a masterclass in subtle, powerful acting.